Right.
tell you more that I think that would be good to hear. But anyway, with that being said, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Deadhead Podcast, episode 33. We're back. Everything feels good. I think I hear myself.
Is you here?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I just scared myself. You know what's killing me? I just messed up my introduction, but what's killing me is that I try to make sure that everything's muted on this side because like you'll be watching something on your PC and I'll forget to mute it. And then now I can hear the shit in my ears. So I have to go through and mute it on this end as well.
Okay.
So what I have is like I have the main streaming software in front of me, and then off to the right I have the YouTube channel and I have the Twitch channel, and I'm kind of looking at everything. And I try to make sure before the show starts that everything is muted. But I guess I forgot that one time, so it scared the shit out of me. So let's start.
I've never seen a reaction like that out of you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deadhead Podcast. We are happy to be here. We're waiting for our guest Lyra. She's supposed to be on the show with us today. We're going to talk about gaming in 2023 and stereotypes. Yeah.
Are you reading of
I think Lyra just texted me now. I said, yeah. Oh wait, I thought 2 hours and didn't get the message, so it's now I'll make it in 10 minutes if it is. Sorry, I thought an hour more, and Instagram is showing the time of the messages in a messed up way. It's okay. We'll carry it till she comes on. What's going on, Jan? To talk to the people for a second while I text back Lyra. What have you been up to?
Right. Yeah. No. Sorry. So what have I been up to? All right. So I don't know if like the shitty camera quality I got makes you see the bags under my eyes, but I was telling this to Dylan a little before we went live. But I barely slept in the last like 48 hours. I think I slept maybe 5 hours in total. And I'm not trying to sound like a martyr here because I'm actually ecstatic because it was my final stretch. I'm finally done with the whole exam session. I didn't do everything I was planning to do, but I did do something. So I did progress. So I'm not proud of myself, but I am. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And more than anything, I'm just so happy that this period's done and over with.
Mm-hmm. I bet. Your camera quality is not too shit, man. We can see the bags, so we can see them. For sure.
Hell yeah!
Oh,
let's go.
Really quick, before Lyra gets in, because I know she doesn't play Resident Evil. Have you tried the Ada DLC yet for Resident Evil 4?
Can you repeat that, please? Because
Resident Evil 4 DLC. Have you tried the Ada DLC? You haven't tried that yet?
No. The way I want to do it, I want to get done with Resi 6 first, and then I'll go back to. Because I'm afraid that if I play any game that has like any level of quality, then I might not have the will anymore to continue playing Resident Evil 6.
That's fair.
What about you?
I've played like 20 minutes of it. I haven't had a whole lot of time myself. It is action. It is action packed, man. It is very action packed. It's crazy.
It's really short, right? So I guess it makes sense.
4 hours. It's like I think it's like 4 hours. But it's like pedal to the metal. I mean, you were just always fighting somebody at any given time. Which Resident Evil 4 is a very action packed game, but this is even more so. This is like all balls to the wall, man.
Yeah, I mean, the main campaign is kind of very, it's long, so they ease you into it. I think at the beginning it's not that action. It still has a sort of a creepy atmosphere. You explore the village and all that crap. But then once you start getting into the castle, then they start kicking to high gear, and it never really stops. Yeah. So I guess what they did, since it's a shorter campaign, they just go, as you said, that'll put them out.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you said, man. It's that game, man. I think we can all agree. Anybody watching, all of us, us here on camera, that game just bleeds quality, man. Resident Evil 4 remake is so gosh damn beautiful, dude. From the visuals to the gameplay, the world design, the music, and this DLC is no different, man. I mean, I've only played 20 minutes of it, and I'm blown away. I can't believe just how because I forget, man, because I've been playing games like Starfield, which is not. It's not to say that's not quality, but it's not. It isn't this. It's just not. You know what I mean?
That says it all. You didn't have to expand on that.
Yeah. I've been playing. I've as you guys know, we've said it on the last show. I've been playing Final Fantasy 16 when I had time, and that game's quality too, but it isn't It isn't this, man. It's so damn
Right.
good. Ada is so maneuverable and she's so quick. The only thing I will say is I think they definitely reuse some animations. She kind of holds her gun the same way Leon does. I think they could have done a little bit better with that.
Mm.
Made her a bit more Ada, a little less Leon. But
Mm-hmm.
for a $10 DLC, what can you really ask for? But I
It's
really,
really cheap.
yeah, yeah, and it's and like I said, it's got it just bleeds quality, man. I Resident Evil 4, really all these Resident Evil games, every single one, the remakes especially, they have
Mm-hmm.
so much love given to them, except for the third one, obviously. Third one's still good, but it's not,
And then I
up
think
to the
it still
level.
has. I mean, it has some love into it. It was, how should I say, maybe not well. It didn't have much direction. You
Well, it
know,
just sucks. It just sucks. They really, really compared to
castrated it.
Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah, man. What
Mhm.
they must have been on some serious crunch time, man. Capcom must have been like,
Yeah,
TikTok, let's go, get the shit out.
you know what's crazy? Is that you'd think that because it came out like a year after Resi 2 remake,
Yeah.
but actually, from what I heard, both of those games started development at the same time.
Hmm.
And there was actually like at one moment, like I read a few articles. At one moment, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake were supposed to be one game.
Oh, okay.
So I
Hmm.
mean, definitely there was definitely a blunder there. But and you know
Hmm.
what? I heard a lot of people, recently, like 3 years have passed, so things have like sizzled out a bit. And some people are actually showing some love to the Resident Evil 3 remake,
Hmm.
and I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, better than. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, yeah,
Mhm.
it definitely I agree, man. It's I wouldn't. It's definitely not the quality of Resident Evil 4. Let's just go ahead and get that out the way. Resident Evil 4 remake is still like I think top tier, but yeah,
Oh, it's the
three's
best
fun, man.
remake to you?
I hate to say it, man, but I would say
Ooh,
yes. I would say yes. Yeah. So far, look,
damn.
I love Resident Evil 2 remake. Don't get me wrong. I love if you're talking about a straight up horror centered game,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, Resident Evil 2 takes the cake. But if you're talking just being a badass, like just axle kicking,
Right,
just John Wick and shit, Resident
right,
Evil 4
right.
remake is it is like it's one of my
No, that is
favorite
true.
games. Honestly, it's one of my favorite games that's come out recently. Like really,
Hmm.
especially this year for sure. Like when I know we'll do a an episode, but by the end of the year we'll talk about maybe our top 10 favorite games that come out this year, top 5,
Oh,
whatever we do.
definitely.
Resident Evil 4 remake is going to be like right there. If it's not in my top 3, I'm surprised. Like I just don't what else comes over Resident Evil 4 remake unless Spider-Man 2 just
Hmm.
blows me away.
Either that or Alan Wake too. The.
I know, but I don't even see that being on my top 3. I don't
I
see
mean, I
it.
don't know. I just have an open mind. I like to have an open mind, dude.
I think Jedi Survivor is going to be pretty high up there for me. For me personally,
Right, right.
I really enjoyed that game.
I think that's really cool. Uh, but yeah, Resident Evil 4. Okay, one thing that I think that remake does better than the rest, than the other two of Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, is that it actually, when it comes to the story, there is no contest. That when it comes to Resident Evil 4, it just made it 10 times better.
Mm,
Because the story of the original was, was kind of it almost plays like a parody.
mm,
Like the stakes are pretty high, right? The whole ordeal and it's pretty somber, it's pretty serious. But everyone is talking as if it's everybody's taking it pretty lightly. Like they're spouting. Leon doesn't like he doesn't miss one opportunity to just spat out one-liners.
yeah.
And all of the villains, well, not all of them, but most of them, including Salazar, are like super cartoony.
Mm,
It's very hard to take it seriously, and the pacing. Oh man, I don't know if I talked about that when I was playing Resident Evil 4, the original, but the pacing of the game is fucking horrendous. Like by the time you get to the island, I'm ready to have it done with, but
really?
I'm barely halfway through.
Mm, yeah.
It's there's like so much shit, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready now. I don't know. I just have to get through like one or two sections, and it's the final boss, right? Well, actually, no. The things it just keeps on going and going and going. And you keep seeing another room, then you think, oh fuck, shit, I still even haven't met Krauser. And then you think, oh fuck, I still even haven't met U4. Oh shit, I still haven't done this. I still haven't done that. And it's just
Mhm.
It's a real drag, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they paced it out way better. And, you know,
What?
there's the whole thing of like Leon being more of an actual character.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Despite all the things that are super cool. Yeah. I didn't really have that problem when I play. When I play, like, especially not in the remake. I thought the remake's pacing was really good. But yeah, in the original Resident Evil 4, I don't know. I was just something about it. I think it was just with the atmosphere for some reason, even though it was still somewhat like turn based, not really, but even it still had like that turn based type of combat. Like, I don't know,
Hmm.
something just kept me keep playing. I never once was like, I want this game to be over. And apparently your dog agrees.
Yeah, I think that my folks are back home.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, clearly.
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Good Lord.
But anyway, yeah, no, she can be pretty loud.
What about Resident Evil 6? So you're playing through that. What do you think about that? Because you pretty much kind of just dissed it a little while ago about the level of
Yeah,
quality.
I mean, okay, so remember when I talked about Resident Evil 5 and how much shit I put in it? You know what? I take it all back. I have a newfound appreciation for Resident Evil 5
Mm,
because at least with Resident Evil 5, I see. Okay, when I look at it, I think okay, they saw the success of Resident Evil 4
mm,
and they had a very misguided idea of what made it cool, and
mm,
that's how Resident Evil 5 came about. You know,
yeah.
they just took a bunch of shit that was in Resident Evil 4 and they kind of built on it, but
Right.
it wasn't the right thing to build upon.
Mm,
Resident Evil 6, they didn't even try.
mm,
Honestly, if five plays like I don't know, like a fucking seventh generation action clone with Resident Evil controls, this is just a seventh generation action clone. There's
mm,
like no, like it completely lost its identity. And you know what? I don't think it's a bad game overall. Like again, it might be fun to play it with like friends or something, but it's just not what I sign up with when I'm looking for a Resident Evil game, right?
right.
Like even the story is just
Uh-oh. We might have lost him. Oh no. I think we might have lost him. That sucks. Oh, just lost him. Salutations to you. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I think I just lost him, man. Let's see if he can. Let me see. Wait. Oh,
Hello.
hey, Lyra. We actually,
Hi.
me and yeah, I just lost Jan. Jan must have just like something just happened. Like I don't know if his internet went out or what. So,
Okay.
we're struggling to get him back. So you came back at the perfect time.
Perfect. Okay.
Let me,
Technical issues.
yeah, let me make sure he's still good to go. Um,
Okay.
I think. Let me see. Yep, here he is. I was about to just message him back. There he is.
there we go.
All
All right.
right. Hi.
Hey, what's up? Sorry,
Oh,
just,
good. Oh, good. I'm gonna share the link to my socials because I got the time wrong everywhere.
Mm.
So just so you know that.
I
So
know.
I need to.
I tried to warn you. It was getting close. It was like it was an hour
Yeah, I don't know
before.
why it
Hmm.
didn't arrive. Like I set up a timer when we messaged each other this morning and it showed 8 p.m. for me, but now it's actually 7. So I don't know. I
Mm.
don't know why that happened.
I know.
Weird.
Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry. Us being on
Wait,
different
it's
time
showing 7
zones.
p.m. on your side? Yeah, because it's 8 p.m. here.
Yeah, it is because I'm not in Italy anymore. It would have been 8 if I was in Italy, but I'm in
That's
Ireland
what
now.
tripped. Oh,
So
that's what
yeah,
tripped you up.
yeah, I
Mm.
feel like that's the issue.
These
But
damn
I mean,
time
it's kind of
zones.
funny because I don't know if you remember, but the first time we had you on the show, I was the one for the same reason that came on late.
yeah,
So there's a bit of
exactly. It
Yeah.
has to happen to one of us.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We're all battling with different time zones, so I think we're doing okay. Me and Jan were just talking about some Resident Evil before he cut out. He sounded terrible,
Okay.
and then his camera
It
just
just
took
vanished.
puts. Yeah, yeah. What happened?
Oh, I mean, I just at some point first you froze, and then like both of our feeds just went completely blank, And like I stood there for like half a minute, going, "Okay, so what's happening, right? What the dog doing?" And when I realized that nothing was happening, I just refreshed the tab.
I never froze over here,
yeah.
man. I got hard line, baby. I got the internet hooked right into my PC, so we're good. We're good to go.
Well,
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, you know what? I'll be the better man and admit that it is very much a me problem.
So what's going on, Lyra? How you doing?
Oh, good. I'm in Ireland actually, as I was telling you. So very busy because I'm working on my thesis as well as some new lectures at university. So I'm basically there all the time, which is why I only get to stream during the weekends. But it's interesting, like the program that I'm doing and everything. But it's a bit stressful. That's the
Oh,
situation.
yeah.
But
That's how
yeah,
it goes.
Yeah, sounds
yeah,
like it. So Ireland, huh? That's interesting. So like
yeah.
what I mean, without obviously you tell as much as you want to. I know how we all give and take a little bit with our personal stuff, but what's really made you move over to Ireland? Like
Oh,
what's
yeah, it's just the program that they have here on neuroengineering, which is actually what I'm interested in the biomedical field, is very good and very specific to what I'm interested in. While in Italy, it's more general. They don't really focus on what I'm doing. So, like, neuroengineering would be a subject of my master's in Italy, but only that. While here, they had like thesis projects going on and research and stuff. So, I had a list of universities that I could go to within the European Union, and among the ones that had interesting stuff to do on that field, in Dublin, they had the best things that interested me. So here I am. That's what happened.
Makes very sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. So besides adjusting to the time, I mean, how are things? So when did you officially get to Ireland? I mean, was this something that just
A
happened like a
month
week ago
ago.
or a month ago? All right.
A
So
month
you've
ago,
been
yeah,
okay. So
yeah, yeah.
how
I
are things
settled.
going? I mean, are you finding your way around, or I mean, like I hope you got a
Yeah.
guide or something because I wouldn't know where the hell to go.
Now, well, I'm in the university, which is very welcoming towards international students. So, like the first few weeks, they would have tours and stuff to really get into the city and try to, make you feel like a local the
Hmm.
best they could. So, yeah, that that went well. I mean, the university is great and the people are very welcoming. So it's very easy to start knowing people and attending social events and getting to know the city. So that's good. The challenge is mostly that in Rome, I knew the city very well. I have my own car and stuff. While here, I have to adjust to a bunch of stuff, including, public transport, rain, wind, terrible weather in general.
All the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, university experience is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So have you visited
Yeah.
any cool pubs? Have you
A
downed
little.
some? Oh, all right, all right.
A little, but I am gluten intolerant, so beer is not my thing. Like I know I'm in
Oh my god.
Ireland, but I don't drink it. So that's a shame, I know. But yeah, I've visited mostly
Mm.
for the live music, which is great.
That's
Like
awesome.
that is a big part of the culture that I really appreciate. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
still a good experience even without the beer. So yeah.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I can't stand beer. I can't stand it. When I turned 21, like that was the huge thing. Like, man, you gotta get you a case of beer, man. America, right? You gotta drink some beer. I'm like, I could give. I drank it because I thought it was cool, right? Like I'm at the
Yeah.
You
age now that
hate
I can
beer?
have some. I hate beer. I can't stand it. It's so
But
bad.
okay, but do you like hate alcohol in general or
No,
beer specifically?
so I don't drink often. I'm not a big drinker, but I love whiskey. I love whiskey.
Hmm.
I like straight whiskey though. I don't really like it being tampered with
Okay.
too much. On the
None of
rocks.
that pussy shit, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Beer, man. I don't know. One, and this might be TMI, so sorry.
Let's hear it.
Beer makes me use the bathroom a lot. I have to go to the bathroom quite a
You may
bit,
be
and
gluten intolerant as well.
maybe it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Like I can't do anything. Like I couldn't drink on the show because I'd be like, all right, Jan, you keep the guest talking. I have to go to the bathroom. Like I just can't. I can't do it. I've had a glass of
Damn.
whiskey before on the show, and that's fine. I'm not too bad about the bathroom, but any other time, it's terrible. So I'm like, it's just like I'm trying to watch a movie with the wife, and I'm like about to bust at the seam, and I'm like, I can't. I'm about to use the bathroom, and I have to pause the movie. And because modern technology is so good, you can just pause the movie anytime and go to the bathroom. But it's still a freaking nuisance,
Yeah.
man.
You took us a long while to get there. Oh man, yeah.
I hate beer. I hate beer.
And Nadia agrees with you. She says, finally someone with good taste.
Yeah.
So you know what? I kind of feel called out here, because
so
You're
you
the
like
only one.
beer? You like beer?
well, I
Okay.
just recently have started to appreciate it,
Okay.
because usually, like when it comes to alcohol, I'm kind of like you, Dylan. So I just, I took it because, well, for me, it was when way before I turned 21. But it's you hang out with your friends, you hang out with your buddies, you're like a pub or somewhere, and you expect to take a drink, right? You kind of sort of an orange juice, right? You gotta conform, and I didn't mind it, but I didn't like the taste too much at first. But I think that over the years, like this might be some sort of auto hypnosis kind of thing. I'm auto convincing myself that I like it. But now, not only do I not mind it, I slow key, like not crave is a strong word, but I kind of like it. Like I'm looking forward to it. Like you look forward to, I don't know, like an orange juice during summer. You feel so. And I was ready for, like, as soon as you guys started talking about pubs and beer, I was like, hell yeah, this conversation came at the right time, and then you both start fucking dissing it.
I'm sorry, man. I've tried.
I just can't drink it, so I wouldn't even know.
No, it's good. Your excuse. No, it's
Yeah, I have no excuse, man. In America, that we bleed beer, we bleed Bud Light,
oh,
but not me.
which
I
one?
can't stand it.
But okay, this is a tangent, but you know what this reminded me? Like I came across like a post, which I'm pretty sure it's like a meme at this point, but it's like a post from this guy. He looks middle-aged or something, and he's like, it's a picture of him like holding like a can of Bud Light. And on the post, he wrote something like, started drinking Bud Light when I was like 12. I still get rock hard from my wife 3 times a week. Thank you, Bud Light. Something like that.
Wow. Yeah, no. Screw beer. No, I hate beer. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say about that. So we've kind of went here for about 20 minutes. We've lost internet connection. Lyra's finally on with us. I think now it's time to get into the conversation that we really all been waiting for, because we've talked about this before, and I'm glad we couldn't have a better guest to bring on for the week to talk about this. So thank you, Lyra, for coming on the show and chatting with us.
Absolutely.
Breaking the Stereotype: Stigmas in Gaming for 2023, Part 2. Do they exist? Do stigmas exist about gaming in 2023? It's a conversation that I've had in my personal life. I've had it with Jan. I've had it with my wife. I've talked to her about it. Like, what do you think? Like, if you didn't know me before, and let's say you came over to my house after the first date and you saw me playing video games, how would you feel about that? I've asked her this, and I've gotten different answers each time. So, Lyra, we're going to let you take the floor for a second.
All right.
Do you believe that with how gaming is in 2023, do these stereotypes, right? I'm sure you've heard some when you were growing up about people that play video games. Do you think that kind of stuff still exists in 2023? Or do you believe in some capacity they still transpire?
I think there still is the stereotype, very, very much. It depends on where you live mostly, I believe, and what you're doing as well. But like among young people, not that much, I guess. Like people my age, even a little bit older, they would just, like you say, I play video games. They would just go with their life. Like that's fine. What else do you do? Like they're okay with you having a normal job and career or anything else. But I feel older people, or especially in certain environments, it's still a stigma somehow. Like I did find out some of my professors at university play video games a lot,
Hell
and
yeah.
also like D&D, but they wouldn't say, like they never say unless they already know that like you are a gamer as well and you accept it, because I know they keep it secret, very secret.
Right.
So that's strange. I mean, everybody has an hobby. So what's the matter if you are like a successful person and in your free time you play an instrument rather than play a video game. Like what's the problem? But
Hmm.
some things are generally more accepted as hobbies when you are in certain positions, I feel, rather than video
Yeah.
gaming, and that's still a very real thing, I think. So yeah,
Hmm.
I would say the stereotype is very much still there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, what kind of stereotypes? I'm sorry, Jan. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. I had something I was going to
Mm.
to go right into that. What
Yeah,
were
no,
you?
no. I was just gonna say that I had the same experience. That like it, it's kind of it comes as a shock when you find out that like a professor is into gaming. But why would it be, right?
Yeah.
The only reason why it is because they themselves are like keeping it secret and they're treating it like some kind of a, I don't know, as if you're Christian during the Roman Empire, right? You have to
Hmm.
go and fucking underground to pray or shit like that.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I get that.
Right. So, what kind of stereotypes, Lyra, did you hear when you were like a child about people that play video games? I mean, we're all around the same age here. I know we kind of fluctuate, but we're all somewhat around that same age. What kind of things did you hear growing up about people who play video games? Just so we and Jan can compare to the things that we have heard.
Sure. So like in my family, nobody really plays anything
Hmm.
except for my weird uncle, which is the so-called weird uncle because he plays video games. And
Hmm.
so like that would be the stereotype going on in my family. Like you see him, he doesn't have a family, he works because he works, but he's weird. He buys weird stuff, collector stuff. He spends all his money on like statues of fictional characters, and that's some loser stuff to do.
Hmm.
And like not somebody to look up to. Irony is, I do look up to him now. Like
Hmm.
he's one of my favorite family members. Who would have
Hmm.
known? But yeah, like people that are not into it would teach you that it's something losers do and people without a life, but that's very much not the truth. But you know, when you grow up in a household that has that idea, that's what they teach you. But as you interface with other people, I think you get a wider picture and you start to see that it's not the
Hmm.
case. Luckily, my parents got around it as well as I started playing, and I showed them like it's not different than doing other stuff
That's
that
right.
you guys do.
Hmm.
So, like, you also spend money on so-called useless things. It's just different useless things. So, what do you
Yeah.
want? So they're useful to you as they are useful to them.
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
that's the thing. But
Okay.
yeah, it took a while to figure that out, especially in family. But outside, I was very lucky because as a young child, I was like the nerdy, good at school kind of student, even
Right.
at elementary school, middle school, all throughout it. So I would group with people similar to me and they would be playing video games. So like I insisted on getting a Nintendo DS when I was 6, I guess. So I always was in the little group of gamers. And I think my parents just were like, okay, she's gonna grow out of it. And I didn't. And then that's when they started to accept that it was a normal hobby, I think.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
no, that thing you said about you growing out of it, that's I hear that a lot because when you're a kid and you play video games, it's sort of like it's kind of accepted, right? It's kind of all right, you're still a kid, so it's alright to make horrible decisions, such as ever picking up a controller. But
Hmm.
as a grown man, I mean, or woman, or whatever, as a grown person, it's like what are you doing, dude?
Hmm.
Like, why aren't you wasting your life away on I don't know, getting wasted or something like that? What are you doing with that controlling,
Yeah.
man? What are
People go
you
partying. Yeah,
doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Why are you not growing up and hating your life like I do? Like, you know, like,
exactly.
Right?
yeah.
Exactly.
No, no. It's really interesting that all three of us, we grew up in different parts of the world, and we all kind of had the same sort of thing because, like, me and Jan, obviously we did the part one of this conversation, and like we both found that we had a lot of this same, like we had a lot of similarities in our childhood. Gaming was kind of looked at as more of like, I would say it was like frowned upon, but it was just more of like okay, like I think Jan, and Jan can
I think it
elaborate
was
this
frowned
more.
upon. I think it's actively frowned upon.
Yeah, I think Jan has talked about like his family, like your parents bought you like a PlayStation, right? Didn't they, Jan? Didn't they buy you a PlayStation when you were little? So they kind
Yeah.
of, I wouldn't say enabled your gaming, like your love for
Okay.
gaming, but they did get you a PS2, right? Or a
Yeah, well,
PlayStation,
here's the
whatever it
thing about
was.
my parents. This is what, yeah, it was a PS2. Here's why my parents are kick-ass. So I think that like when it comes to all the stigma in video games, as with many stigmas, it comes about ignorance, right? I think that as the gaming world, as much as now it's way more commonly known, like a lot of the franchises, video game franchises are more commonly known, and all that. Gaming in and of itself, as a hobby, and all its little peculiarities, are still very unknown to most people, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and so most people, I think, like your family, Lyra, they pretty much your family just doesn't understand it, right? They have a very limited understanding of it,
Hmm.
and so they had to learn through you that even grown people like him and all that. So yeah, so coming back to why my parents were kick-ass is that even though they did not understand it, and even in some ways, even like were actively against it, they saw how much I was into it, and they sort of like, okay, you know what, let's make the kid happy, right? It's clearly something that he's passionate about. And then I'll always be thankful for them for that. I hear a lot of horror stories of like parents not only not buying consoles to their kids, but like actively taking it away from them.
Hmm.
Like kids saving money to get their own consoles, and then parents like take away from them.
Yeah,
Dude, that shit's scary.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I guess I mean if you want to discipline, right? If you know that a kid has this I won't know if maybe passion really is the right word, but at least a hobby in this, and then you take it away
Mhm.
from them. I mean, this might be like their one piece of happiness. For a lot of kids, it was
That's right.
like when I grew up, and it's nothing off of my parents, me and my parents and I, we've gotten a better relationship over the years. But like growing up in the house I grew up in was not always easy. And like playing games was a full on escape. How as corny as that is, like playing Uncharted was just something that I could play this story about this explorer who kills thousands of people and jokes about it. Something about that was like just taking me away from like things that I had to deal with at home. So it's like I think a lot of that is it's someone's escape, right? It's all of our escape. I
Oh
mean,
no,
we're still
definitely it
going
was
through
for me.
stuff, and
Surely, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, why do I play games now? To escape. I mean, one of the main reasons we do it, right?
And this escape thing is really being like demonized, kind of like I don't know if you guys have encountered this, but on my end, like I heard a lot of people saying, well, you're clearly using this as an escape from reality, and that is not right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like as if what's the alternative to face it head on? Like I'm not being an escapist, not being a bulwarist. I'm just finding a little peace of mind, a little piece of tranquility, especially as a kid. I remember as a kid, I didn't understand anything of the world. I was scared shitless of everything. When I was playing video games, I was in a world that I could understand, and it was a beautiful world, and that's all I needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why the whole taking a console away thing is so scary to me, right? You're taking away this one happy place, the safe room,
Yeah, no,
if
that's
you want
not
to be
right.
gamery about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nari said the thing. If it's a punishment, is one thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could go into that, but I pretty much agree.
Yeah,
In
and I
drawing,
think
drawing
I
the
think
line.
the argument of like she also mentioned demonizing gaming, like people
Mm-hmm.
like put down gaming, but then do whatever, you know what I mean? Whether it's like Lyra said, play an instrument or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. They like want to compare the two, and we all do things to pass time. We have to like. What else do you do? Like that's why like
Yeah.
and we're gonna get to this part of the conversation, but it's kind of like when you see some of these like couples, right? And these and it's both sides, right? If a couple is between two people, one has an issue with the other playing video games and not showing the other one
Mm-hmm.
attention 24/7. And it's impossible. You're not going to be with somebody who's going to show you attention 24/7. Why would you? That would annoy the absolute crap out of
Oh,
me.
I
Like,
would
I
hate
wouldn't
that.
even want
Yeah.
that. Like, I would be like telling the wife to get lost. Like, if you're up, if you,
Do
if you
something.
keep like, if you
This,
keep like messing with
get
me,
a
I'm
life,
trying
dude.
to. No, you got to get on somewhere, man. We can do everything. So like I don't like when you see relationships like that nowadays. It's like why do people get mad at the other person playing games? What would you rather they be doing with their time? Especially like in relationships, like anyone could be doing like they could be cheating or they could be going out any kind of
Right.
infidelity in their relationship. they could be doing any of that. Wouldn't you rather than be at home in their sweats playing God of War than like doing something they're gonna
Well, you know
regret
how
or
it goes. Is it
yeah.
me or the PS5? Tell me which one of them is more your type. You know, it's
The PS5 is quieter. um
especially now that you can turn off the peep tone, the little
oh
thing.
yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you can cut off the beep. Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive. That's pretty impressive.
that's
So
high advanced technology.
yeah, dude, that's like the best thing to come out, honestly. Like screw
I think so.
controllers or anything else. You can cut off the beeping sound and not wake a
Yeah.
soul.
Yep.
So this moves me on the next thing. Me and Jan had talked about this before. Lyra, we want to get your opinion on the relationship aspect, right?
Hmm.
So when, I don't know if you are a taken person at this point. It's okay. You don't have to disclose that. But how do you feel about like talking about your gaming hobby to a person that you have some kind of interest in? How do you
I think we
It's
talked
always
about this
easier
last
to
time
find
she was on,
somebody.
right?
Yeah, I
I
think we
think we had mentioned
mentioned.
it. We did. We
Yeah,
mentioned it. That was one of the whole reasons why we even came up with this like conversation. It's an ongoing thing because it's such a big topic and there's
Hmm.
so many different opinions. But I mean,
yeah,
like as far as you like now you being in adulthood, like how do you approach that? Is what I'm saying. Like, are you open with your
yeah.
hobby?
Yeah, I am. And personally, I feel like it's way easier to find somebody that plays as well. To a certain extent. I mean, doesn't have to be that into video gaming as I am, but as at least has an understanding of what is going on, because I feel
Uh,
it could be a lot to somebody that is not into it at all. Like I also
mhm.
stream, so like I take it to a farther extent of it. So I find it that people that don't play at all and are not involved in it, if I tell them that I stream video games, they start approaching me differently. They're like, okay, you are a nerd, like with capital N. What is going
Yeah,
on?
face it.
But yeah, exactly. But if they at least kind of play with friends or something, at least in the world of video gaming, then it's way more accepted and
Mhm.
therefore easier to connect. So I'm not saying I wouldn't ever date somebody that is not involved at all in the world of video gaming, but I feel like it wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like there's
Mhm.
Right.
just a barrier that is so hard to go past, even in the first few minutes of conversation, like about the topic. Like you say, I play and stream video games and they just black out and they're like, okay, what is that, what is going
Yeah, or
on?
not.
Especially with female streamers, there's a bit of a stereotype going on as well, so that's a
Yep.
whole other topic. But if people are not involved into the world of gaming, they would assume stuff, and so you have to debug all those assumptions first thing that you mentioned what you're doing, and it's a burden. So I feel like it's way easier to connect with people that at least know what's going on in
Mhm.
the world
Right.
you know
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even have to play. They, as long as they watch some let's plays, that's enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Even if their
You know, but
friends play or something like that, but
yeah,
they're
whatever.
used to it being a thing.
They have touched a video game in their life.
Yeah,
That's pretty much the prerequisite. Like we're not trying to be elitist. Is what I'm getting at.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, well, it's like I think Nari had said it's easier if they understand because they won't be upset if you want to play and normally for some hours. That is
yeah.
true. But see, that would be my next question for you, Lyra. And I think me and Jan, I don't know how we would handle this. Like if like from like if my wife is in the gaming, but I'll ask you first, Lyra. As far as what is considered too much gaming, right? So let's say you're
Mm.
with somebody. Like what is considered too much gaming? So you play games, you can play a lot of games, but what's too much gaming for you to the point where it'd be like, hey, dude, can you like, or can you just show me some attention, like
Yeah.
any at all? I'm right here. You know what I mean? What's too much for you?
I would say like if you have I don't know, 9 to 5 job where like anyway you cannot play during the day anyways, even if you wanted to. I think doing at least like a day, like you go back home at night, let's say you have dinner and then you have your free time, like that's unusual schedule for people. So if you at least do like one day gaming and one other not gaming and showing attention, I think that's all right. I feel like that's okay. That's a balance.
Hmm.
The best thing would be to also game together. Like that would be the solution. But I feel like one and one, and maybe during the weekend, find the time to do an activity together that does involve gaming is a good balance.
Hmm.
I suppose.
No, definitely. Mhm.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the gaming together doesn't have to be like playing the same game, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
Right.
sometimes people just enjoy watching someone else play. I know I do.
yeah, too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Like my wife, like she loves watching me play like anything like horror centered, like any kind of like any kind of survival horror. She loves those types of games.
Mhm.
But she says that, but then like I was playing Resident Evil 4. I'll never forget it. I was in the first couple hours of that game and she had fallen asleep. I'm like, what? How did you fall asleep? I'm like, man, let me get these divorce papers real quick. I was like, you kidding me? Are you like how like but
Well, I mean,
but
you gotta admit, Resident Evil 4 is a bit. We talked about this just a few minutes ago. It's a bit more actiony, a bit less horror-y. There's that. No,
yeah.
boot up Resident Evil 6. Oh, should love that. Should be glued to the screen, dude.
Mhm.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it's just great storytelling. Like there's no other game.
Right?
Like The Witcher 3 is like at the bottom of the barrel
Fucking nothing.
and Resident Evil
Proper. Yeah,
6 is like
yeah. Fucking show me Leon just crashing off a plane, fucking surviving and going, "Welcome to the club. Get used to
yeah.
it."
No thanks, bro. But yeah, so well that's interesting. That's actually yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it, right? Like if you have two people that enjoy gaming as a hobby, it probably is better just to both of you play at the same time, even if you're not playing the same thing. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. Where I'm at with it, my wife doesn't play games at all. She likes watching me play. She'll
Mhm.
says she likes hearing me talk about certain characters and things in games, but I think she just does that because she loves me, and that's cool. But sometimes like what I have an issue with is, and I think we talked about this last time we had Lyra on. So, but like I have a really hard time with talking to a lot of people about gaming. Like I just have a hard time with that in my personal life. Like again, I
Mhm.
think we talked about this. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but um, I just have a hard time. Like when there's like like a new game coming out, and I'm really excited about it. It's like I have to wait till we come on the podcast and talk to Jan about it. I have to bring a guest on and talk about it there because otherwise it's like Apex. That's all it is. It's fucking
No,
it's Apex. It's Rocket League. It's like stuff like that. That is
Fortnite.
whatever. That's yeah, Fortnite. That's fine. I don't care, but I don't play that. So it's like I don't even know who to talk to anymore about gaming as a hobby. Like I have no one to talk to besides
Dude, I
Jan,
hope
really.
that like when you
And
move, it's gonna you're gonna find someone because that sounds like hell, honestly.
it sucks, man. It really sucks
yeah,
That's
because like
terrible.
Final Fantasy 16 was coming out. I was, me. I was like overly hyped for it.
Hmm.
Um, Besides you, there was like no one else who was playing it near me that really wanted to talk about it, and it really sucks. It really sucks. Yeah, I've tried the Discord thing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in Discord. I've tried that.
Yeah,
I don't know anything. I honestly, if I just took the time to learn, I probably would be all right. But it is, I don't. That's a whole side of things I don't know anything about.
I don't know about
yeah.
that.
I
Do
think
you
it's
like
worth
to?
getting into it because
Is it?
there's a lot of people you can meet through that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a cool side and all. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Dylan is like me and just hates texting because that's my problem with Discord. You
Yeah,
can
but
say,
you can do
okay,
voice chat sometimes, and it's fun.
well, I guess, yeah, that's true.
Like
Right.
as a
You know,
D&D player, that's like the holy grail of the
you got,
D&D
you got
players.
the
Where do
prerequisite.
you even find them if not through Discord
Mhm.
servers? Like there's no other place. So that's still good. I think it's a good
Right.
resource to find people. But
Yeah.
yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like I feel that if you build an inner circle when you are younger and you're still in
Mhm.
school, then you are settled to have your people. Like you
Mhm.
go to them if you want to talk about this kind of stuff, and the rest are just acquaintances that you talk about stuff that you don't really care about during the day, and then you call
Non-gaming
your friends.
clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even here in Ireland, there's like a society for gamers, and I joined as soon as I stepped foot into the university. That was
Mhm.
very nice. Like when you are in university and stuff like that, there must be a place for the people like you, and you just need to go and, you know, stop the fear of being an extrovert for a couple hours. Go to
Mhm.
that first meeting and start talking about stuff that you like, and you will find somebody that shares an
Yeah.
interest. Like, I went to the first meeting, it was like a coffee hour. That was scary as fuck because like they all knew each other, and I was like, okay, I'm new. But one of the guys had a sticker of Disco Elysium on his laptop, and I was like, okay, Kim Katsuragi. And then we just started nerding out on that. And
Mhm.
that was perfect. I think like if you have a social event that you attend and you know they share an interest, it's a place where you're pretty safe to talk about anything, and you will find somebody that connects
Yeah.
at least to a certain extent to what you're saying. But if you are like already at work and these kind of social clubs and stuff are not going on, I feel like Discord is a very good place
Yeah.
to find people. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dylan.
Oh,
It's
no,
Discord
that's
or
not.
nothing. We
No,
cannot relate.
Yeah.
no, that's good advice. No, I appreciate I appreciate you elaborating that more, Lyra, and I appreciate you, Nori, for bringing that up. No, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I just I don't know much about it. I just man, it's just it's crazy to me. Like it's like I've been to different places. Like if you go to like the next town over from where I'm at, you'll find people that play more of the stuff you
Lynchburg.
do. Like I go to a comic shop about an hour away from here to pick up my Walking Dead.
Ugh,
I get everything Walking
one
Dead.
hour?
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
drive an hour, dude. It's
US.
we are so
Yeah.
we have no culture here, no goddamn culture at all here. I have to drive an hour to the closest anyway. So I have a account over there where they pretty much put anything Walking Dead and they put it in a bag.
Hell
And
yeah.
like when I go over there, it feels so like cool because I'm finally like talking to people that like talk about Walking Dead, that love to talk about different kinds of games. But then like where I'm at, where I currently live, it just sucks, man. If you're not playing Apex or Warzone or Fortnite or anything, any shit like that, you might as well just you might as well just shut up. You might as well
Like,
just not even say anything,
how does
dude.
the conversation about the game even go? Like, honestly, like, I
Oh,
don't
dude,
want to shame
I got
anyone.
3 wins the other night, man. I got double tapped and all this stuff.
So
It's
it's
like,
just
what are
dick
you talking
measuring.
about? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like I
Because,
got like
like,
12 kills. Like who cares? Like no one gives a shit.
because I mean, what those kind of games get like an update every week or so, and then what? Like, what is the conversation about? Like, what are we discussing here?
I don't
I
know.
mean, you don't
Like, I'm
have
not
to
here.
talk
Like,
about
we,
those games.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what
There
I'm
to say.
saying. Like,
Yeah, no,
just,
and that's the thing. Like I think
oh yeah,
we
man.
again
When I
we
went to
talk
Tilted Towers, we started
yeah.
popping off.
Yeah, man, it was popping off down there. Yeah, I was stupid. Yeah, but no,
We were gaming,
if that's what people like to play, no, I'm not going to say anything there. But it just sucks, man. It
of
just
course.
really sucks. It sucks. But
Yeah,
anyway, but that's why look, that's what the Deadhead podcast is great for. It gives me time
that's
to
right.
really think about what we want to talk about, and we come on here and then we just spiel. So it's all good from there. So you don't believe that, Lyra, you don't believe that people more our age, those stereotypes that we have just talked about, like one thing that I grew up hearing a lot was that if you play games, you're gonna grow up living
Say
in
it.
mom's basement. You're gonna be fat.
Oh.
You're gonna smell like a piece of crap. You're not gonna be able to hold down a job, and you're just gonna run your days away 10 to 12 hours a day and not do anything with your life. Was it really that vulgar for you growing up? And you know what's crazy? Like is it like that for you? Was it like that when people were saying when you were growing up? But do you know there's got to be people out there too? Do you think someone would fit that stereotype now? Like it's crazy. Like we had a picture
No,
of
they
the
are there.
yeah, like
They are there. Yeah,
yeah,
there's some.
right,
I
right. You
wouldn't say
don't
it's the majority, but they exist.
It's the loud minority.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Mm.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts that like there are people out there who live through these games, man. But that's crazy. Is like with these games get so more immersive. It's almost like you are kind of living another life. Like Lyra, I know you're towards the end of The Witcher 3, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Like think about how immersive that game is. Like
No, yeah,
just
it is.
and it feels like you're living another life. It's crazy. And I think that's the beauty of gaming though. But I think people take that a little too far sometimes, like but
Yeah.
I think that's with anything.
Mhm.
But
I
like
mean,
I
it's
mean,
just like reading a book, honestly. Like the purpose of it is the same. It's just a different media. But
mhm,
people that read a lot, which sometimes is considered more socially acceptable, more or less.
No, it's
Um,
praise, dude.
yeah, exactly. Like it's seen as a positive thing, contrary to gaming,
Holy
but like
shit.
the the reason you do it is the exact same. Like, what are you doing? The exact same thing. It's just a different media that gets you through it. But
Yep.
reading a fantasy novel is the exact same feeling as playing The Witcher, honestly. And The Witcher is also a fantasy novel, as
Mm-hmm.
Nari here in the comments will tell us all, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually better than the game. She
That's what
keeps
I hear.
telling me
Of
that.
course,
Yeah.
of course,
But yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, there's no difference in reading The Witcher versus playing it, but
Yeah.
it's perceived differently by society, which is
Mm-hmm.
messed up, in my humble opinion, as a person that does both. So doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Did you have something to
Yeah.
say, Jan? You look like you're about to say something.
Uh, I think I did, but I lost my train of thought.
I seen your eyes lit up, and then you just
It's,
like,
oh man, yeah. No, I mean, I was just wondering whether this is ever gonna end, right? This era of gaming being so stigmatized, because as we pretty much convened now, it's pretty much about people not understanding what they're talking about.
mm-hmm.
You know, when you see like a guy being hunched over a book, right, just having a terrible posture. Oh, but he's reading 24/7, dude. Man, he is so cultured, and we praise him. And more young people should be like them, and more people would be like that. Then the economy wouldn't be so shit. But instead, we have these gamers sprawling around, right, and they're ruining the world pretty much. This is pretty much the very grossly oversimplified, but this is the worldview, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how long is this gonna last,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder when is this kind of worldview finally going to be frowned upon. It's going to be popular for to laugh about it. Just as I don't know, today we laugh about people not understanding how you get STDs, right? I don't know.
What I would say to that is, you said how long do you think it's going to last? And I mean, Lyra, if you disagree, please by all means chime in. I think it's gonna. I think this whole like the whole stigmatization of gaming in general. I think that ends when we all become grandparents, right? When
Mm.
we're all much older and we're having kids and everything, and we're at the tip of the top here. Like literally, like we go to sleep, that could be it.
the elders, right?
I think I think that's got to be when it's over, right? Because look, unless gaming just becomes complete dog shit by that point,
Right.
I don't see a world where I wouldn't play some, even if I'm playing like old games. I feel like I would still be playing something. So I feel like
Mhm.
until I feel like it's got to be when we're grandparents. I just feel like at that
No,
point
makes sense.
the
I
world's
want to be
kind of
more
different.
hopeful about that, honestly. I don't know if you've said what you wanted to say or want to add
Oh, yeah,
anything
no.
else. But yeah, I feel like it became so popular in our generation that there must be somebody, me myself I would do it, but anybody else, I know other people that would do that, that they, have hopefully some sort of success in their field, in their career, and they wouldn't hide the fact that they play. Like, I personally hope to become a researcher, and I would stay in the university field. So maybe, have some lectures to younger pupils at the university and stuff like that. And honestly, I would make examples out of Detroit Become Human or stuff like that.
Mm,
And I wouldn't
Right.
be ashamed a single bit because, I'm an engineer. I don't care. What would you want to tell to me? Like, I play video
Right.
games in my free time. I do, yes, but I'm still standing here. So you shut up and you listen. And I'm the one, doing the exam to you. So
Oh,
that would be I think the breaking of the stereotype would be some of us being in positions that have an interaction with younger generations. I think teachers, professors, whatever, and they just saying it out loud, like, I do play. I find it actually educational, so I'm gonna say it. I feel like I would do it. Some of my friends would do it. I have some friends that are looking into becoming teachers and professors, and I know for a fact they would take, examples out of video games and just say it out loud. So I think that would be like the moment that we finally get rid of it, you
mm-hmm.
know? At
Right.
least I
that makes
want to
sense
hope that
actually.
more people would do it. Like, I don't see why in 20 years time, let's say, I wouldn't say that. Like, I will still play, so why not?
No, that's true. We pretty much just the gamers need to have the power. So what you're
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no, I can see that. Yeah, like you're a teacher, right? So you're the person that maybe the youngsters don't look up to necessarily, but you're seriously some sort of pillar, right? Some sort of cultural pillar. And if you start shouting out, I don't know, you're like teaching about Shakespeare, some shit like that. And then you say, well, this has been, retaken many times as a theme. Just think about Baldur's Gate. I don't know. Think about the
Yeah.
Fortnite expansion pass. That really, or something like that. I don't know. I couldn't make a joke out of that. But honestly, yeah, I get that. You pretty much what you're saying is that it becomes actually pop culture. The pop culture becomes general culture. That's what
Mhm.
needs to happen.
I mean,
Okay,
I
no,
have
that
a
makes
friend
sense.
that is an aeronautical engineer and he wants to be a professor one day and he loves Outer Wilds, which is the other game I played a while ago, which is all about space exploration stuff. So he would, I don't know, demand his students to play it probably for the sake of his course if he ever does one that is related to it. Like, he wouldn't let them do the exam without the game probably. So I feel that's the moment everything changed when
Mhm.
people like this step up and start using video games as
Right.
they actually can be used because they are educational to a certain extent.
Yeah. Well, I
I
can't
mean,
remember what. Oh, I'm sorry, Jan. I was gonna say there was, I don't know what college it is. I'm not sure. I know it's in the States, but I don't quite remember. But I know that one drama teacher was, when he was getting his students to audition for a play, he was getting them to do the monologue that, I don't know if you guys have played Far Cry 3, but the
No, I
monologue
haven't.
that the main villain says at the very beginning of the game. Do you know the definition
insanity.
of insanity? Do you know the
Oh
definition?
yeah, no, I know what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was actually getting his students to do that monologue for the audition for this play that he was doing. And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
Like
pretty good, yeah.
that's the kind of thing, because that monologue is like really, like, it's one of the greatest monologues in recent game memory. Obviously, it's still pretty recent, like what, like 2012, 2013 when that game came out.
2012, yeah,
And
so 10 years
yeah,
ago.
and so like and I remember when I was playing the game for the first time, because Far Cry has never been as good since, but I remember seeing that and being
Or
captivated
before.
by his performance, by I think his name is Michael Mando. He played Nacho in Better Call Saul, if you've ever seen that. But he plays the villain in that, and like, I think that's a good example of what you guys were talking about. Was like, the college press, like, hey, listen, there was this badass game I played, and this guy has an awesome
Yeah.
monologue. So here, read this. You can be in my play.
No, I was more so thinking that like it actually becomes part of like knowing these things. Like I don't know, like this line of Voss from Far Cry 3, or knowing I don't know, some certain aspect of Outer Wilds or Detroit Become Human, just become general culture. One of those things that people just know. Like I don't know, when you say Romeo and Juliet, you think of star-crossed lovers, right? And everybody knows that. It's just common knowledge.
Mhm.
I think that's what video games as a medium just need to enter that sphere. And they kind of have in our generation, as you said, Lyra, but it's really having a hard time expanding. It's doing really at a snail's pace.
Mhm. That's right. Well, the thing is, like, it's definitely like, as much as we say that, like, and I think we're on the fence here as far as like, do these stereotypes do exist? Do they not? But for having that same conversation, we see that that gaming is advertised everywhere. I mean, I've been on websites for work, even like, just like looking up
Mm-hmm.
something for work, and there's an ad for Baldur's Gate 3 or Diablo 4 or something like that. So it's definitely like popular. It's
No,
it's a thriving thing. There's so many people that do it, but
no, dude, it's out there, but I think people just ignore it. As soon as people figure out that it's like a video game, they just lose all interest because
Mhm.
again they have like this prejudice about it. They have this. It's
Yeah,
not a
they don't know
prejudice. It's
about
a
enough about it.
fake understanding.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
So like
right.
even something like do you think that many people know that the Last of Us TV show was based on a video game? Nah, dude. I'm
Hmm.
I'll bet my entire hand that not half of the viewers of the Last of Us TV show know that it's based on a video game.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean I think I showed at least to you, Dylan, this, but it's like I had this picture someone took of like an electronics store. They had the Last of Us Part 1 video game, and and they put a sticker, like a sticker note next to it that said based on the hit TV show.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a shame too, right? Like if they watched that show and that was their first like telling of the story, shame on them for watching the show first and not playing the game. Because
Come
the
on,
game
okay,
is
don't be
far
like that,
superior.
dude.
The game is far superior. Than
You're
that.
sounding like the people who like cannot enjoy. You're like the people who like don't let people enjoy the Harry Potter films because like, oh man, you only watch the films, so you have no clue of how long Dobby Schlong is because that's only in the books.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
only
man,
in the
so
books. You better watch what you say. We got us a Potterhead here in the
I'm doing it very much on purpose. I know Lyra knows what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you can tell me the exact page.
I probably could. But yeah, no, I as a reader myself, most of the time, I feel like any media is good to get the message across. Like, for example, recent example would be the D&D movie. Was it accurate? No. Should you play D&D? Yes. But if you come across the world of Dungeons and Dragons through the movie, welcome. Like, go watch it. Nice. And if you get informed after that because you enjoyed it, that's good. Like, I support more mainstream media, getting their stories and stuff from video games, books, whatever, as long as it's a way to get more people into it. So also the Last of Us TV show. I think that's great that it really was successful among even people that had no idea it was a video game. Like my father, for example, he doesn't know much. He knows a little bit because I explain stuff to him, but it's not into it. But he watched the series and he got interested. And we do have a PlayStation at home, so it was like, maybe I could try. And I was like, go ahead,
Tempt him.
try it. Like,
Do it.
what's stopping you? Go on. So I mean,
Like,
it's
I
good.
can see Lyra going to your dad, like, just do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And as soon as he picks up the controller, lightning strikes. Yeah.
No, he actually played a game. He did that. That was very hard, but he did. Yeah. He played God of War Ragnarok entirely because he just got stuck onto it. Like, what happened was he watched The Last of Us. He opened the PlayStation for the first time ever on his own. He was like, "What is this? How does it work?" My brother is also a gamer. I made that possible. So, I created the
You
path
walked
for
so
him.
he could run.
Exactly. I walked so he could run. So he's also a gamer. That's accepted by now in the family. That works fine. So it was me and my brother like tutoring him on how to open the PlayStation stuff. He went onto the shop and he started looking at games. He was like, I didn't know they had such complex stories. I was like, oh, they do. And he started looking at the trailers and stuff, and he went there with the idea to get The Last of Us, but he ended up stuck on God of War. So he bought it and he started playing it. And he did actually. He enjoyed it. It was a couple months ago. Yeah.
Did you ever watch him play, or did he just talk
Yeah,
about his experience? Okay.
I did a little bit. My
Did it
brother
give you
mostly.
Did it give you a heart attack, or is he actually pretty good? Like, is he actually?
It was decent. Like we discovered that he did play some video games back in the day, like with some old consoles. I don't even know what they were. He had some Marvel games. So he still got the moves and the ADA. Never mentioned, of course.
Yeah.
Ashamed as the
You're right.
career man he is, but now he's more open towards it.
So the
But
instincts kicked in.
yeah, exactly. Like we saw him play with that controller. Me and my brother were like, you know how to do that. Tell us more about it. Because like my mom tried Hogwarts Legacy and it was very clear she never held a controller in her life. You could tell. Like, she couldn't even climb the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But
Right.
my father was
That
pretty
happens.
skilled with moving a list. So we were like, okay, you are hiding something from us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at him like, yeah.
Yeah,
You're waiting to get at
that's
this.
us. That was me and my
Your
brother
dad was
looking
doing a
at each other
sassy
like,
baka.
yeah,
Yeah, you called like a meeting, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first games. So not God of War, but speaking on the Last of Us. No, actually not that one, but The Last of Us actually. So it was like, I want to say it was like the first year or so. My wife and I were together, and we, because she was playing Mario Kart for a little while, and she always talked about how much she could kick my ass at Mario Kart. Well, that's not true. I beat her every time. But she wasn't bad. She wasn't bad. I mean, she came close second, for sure. We were playing at like I think 200 cc, I believe. So I mean, pretty high. Well, anyway, I was like, you know what? Let's see about The Last of Us. Let's see how she does. And my God, that required a lot of drinks to get through that. It was like I can't get the character to move. I'm like, move the stick. Which one? The one on the left. Oh, okay. And then she proceeds to move the one on the right. I'm like, how are you kidding me? And I'm like, okay, now you aim with the left trigger and shoot with the right. And she's pushing square. I'm like, honey, just the left trigger, right to shoot. And like she did it, and she's like, her aim is she's like turned the other way from the guy that's shooting at her. And I have this like on the easiest mode. So you're standing right in front of the enemies and they're like missing you because they're that bad. And I'm like, no. Just take your time and aim. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And so before you know it, the camera's just spinning around in a 360.
That's the thing they do. They just turn around like that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
They're like, what's it doing? Panic. What's it doing? What's it doing? I'm like, you're doing it. It's not. The camera's not doing it.
But you know what, guys? This is actually a pretty good point. Because I think many people, even if they want to get into games, if they're like casuals, they feel like they can't get into it anymore. Like not anymore, but like it's hard to get into. I've seen a lot of a lot of friends of mine who are like non-gamers. Well, not that many, like two, but like in both times they're like, oh man, like you game, right? I want to get into that. Do you recommend something? And I recommend to them the easiest game ever. Like I recommend to them like fucking walking simulators, right? And they're having such a hard time. Like because they panic at the very slightest thing. They're just not used to interactive media. They're not used to the fact they actually have to work for for the story to unfold, pretty much, for the thing to happen. So this could be another reason why a lot of people just have no intention to get into gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, Let's Plays exist, but
yeah,
I guess not many people are into those.
Yeah, I think like as far as my wife goes, I think she'd like to get more into it. I just think it's the multitasking of it, right? Like that's the thing. Like when people say like gaming is a waste of time, I've learned some of the best hand-eye coordination like ever just playing some games. I mean, we were just talking about Resident Evil 5, right? Like last our last show, me and Jan were talking about Resident Evil 5, and there's a scene in that game where you have to bash the shit out of like Square or X, whatever console you're playing on, to rip this thing off a character's chest. And I mean, my finger didn't even exist anymore. Like I don't even have a thumb. It's like it's just a nub now. Like you know what I mean? But it took that
Have you
skill.
played Resident Evil 4 on like modern hardware, like either on a PC or on a modern console?
You talking to Lyra?
Either of you.
Never.
Have I played it on PC? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or a modern console like PS4 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I haven't played it on PS4.
Have you not? Because you know what happens is that when the game is in 60 FPS, they kind of messed it up to where every time you have to mash, the game expects you to mash twice as fast. And it's that's a huge ordeal. Like it kept dying to this one part. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like I'm mashing as much as I can, and he's telling me that I'm failing.
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about the original RE4 on?
Yeah, the original RE4
on PS4.
I should have made that clear.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I don't think I played Resident Evil 4, the original. I beat it when I was like a kid, and then I played it again on Xbox Series X at like 60. I don't really remember if I ever got through a part like that though. I know the only part I don't like. I like puzzles in games. I don't mind puzzles. But like, there's a puzzle in Resident Evil 4. I don't know if you played
which one,
Lyra, the original
I
Resident Evil 4. There's a puzzle in that. Yeah, I think I was telling you, Jan. It's like you're sitting on a table and you got to move these little square pieces to make this picture. You're playing as Ashley. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, that one. Okay, no. I was about to diss you, but yeah, that was.
You're about to diss me? All right, well,
yeah,
let's talk about that.
Because I couldn't remember because I was thinking, man, he got stuck at a puzzle of Resident Evil 4. Like the puzzles in Resident Evil 4 are a fucking joke, but I forgot about that one. Okay,
Right.
Lyra, for some context, it's one of those puzzles. Like they exist even like in physical form. It's like a picture. You have to form a picture, and all the tiles are already there, and there's only
Okay.
one hole. So
Oh
you have to
yeah,
move the
got it.
tiles to make that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass, man. It's one of those puzzles that I'm so glad they didn't add to the remake. Um, yeah, that's thank goodness for
Yeah.
that. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I think this is a conversation that really, like, it's always good to have another opinion. It's always good to have other opinions because I think this so many people think differently. I imagine if I asked somebody who was middle aged how they felt about if the stereotypes in gaming and if this stuff actually exists, I'd be interested to see if they didn't play games. How
Mm.
they might be even a bit controversial. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, honestly, that would be like for real.
So unless we got what's something specific, is there anything else specific from Jan, if you got anything else you want to bring to the stereotype conversation, or Lyra, if you like to chime in? I mean, what are some other things, like, are there any other stereotypes that maybe we haven't thought of that maybe still exist out there when it comes to gaming?
There's one thing I just remembered. I don't know um, how common it is, uh, but like my mother, she pretty much, uh, as much like Lyra's parents, she pretty much accepted and even started embracing the fact that I'm like a capital G gamer. But I remember for the longest time, she like the word gaming and the word addiction were like one thing. You could not separate those two. And her friend, which is also the mother of my friend, also likes to game. She isn't there yet. I don't feel like she's still like sometimes when we talk about pretty much anything, right? They come over to dinner or something, and I don't know. They ask us, oh, so what have you been up to, right? For context, like that friend of mine is also my roommate. So like, oh yeah, I've been glued to those games, right? I mean, I understand you're addicts, but you gotta like. And she's like dead serious about this. Like, I understand you're addicts, but you're addicted to video games. Like, that's a fact, right? So there's no like with no ton of irony. It's just proven fact. So you're addicts, right? So you have to kind of still you have to work hard to keep away from those so you can study, right? So you can find time to study. And I have no clue how to. I don't have a rebuttal to that,
Right.
right? Because it's such an outlandish thing to say. Like, it's such a gross misunderstanding of what is going on inside our heads that I'm just like speechless. I'm like, wow, dude, no, you're right.
So I think Lyra might have. I know she's already kind of addressed this, but really, when would you say, in your opinion, or really both of your opinion, like, when is gaming, quote unquote, an addiction? When and how do you get to that point?
I mean, when it's in the way of you doing other stuff you're supposed to do, I think anything is an addiction, basically. Like when you're not functioning anymore. So, like, your house is dirty, you're not showing up to whatever you're supposed to do, be it work, study, or anything. You don't interact with people anymore, which I think is also a big part of anybody's life. So I think that's the point that you call it an addiction, but that would be for anything, not just gaming. Like anything that you
Yeah.
do at an extent that prevents you to do all these other stuff that I mentioned is an addiction. Doesn't matter if it's gaming or I don't know, anything really. Like even reading could become an
Yeah,
addiction if you just
definitely.
there for 8 hours and you forget to eat, honestly. So I think as long as you're doing it as any other activity and you take 2 hours, even 4 hours during the weekends, 6 hours, that's fine, to game, but then you do all the other things as well and you function, I think it's not an addiction. So, yeah.
All good things in moderation, right? One of your presidents said that.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. I know I've said that a lot. I mean, that goes for anything. So I think, yeah, I think anything can be an addiction if you let it, for sure. Everything in moderation. Let's transit. I actually just thought about this topic. Just bring this up. Because we'll step away from the stereotype conversation for a second. We'll start with Lyra. She's a special guest for the show. Do you believe console versus PC wars should still be a thing in 2023?
Like that's something I wanted to mention. Like there's a whole other topic when it
Let's
comes to
go.
stereotypes within gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So like you would have the console versus PC, the cozy gaming versus any other type of game that gets shamed by everyone else. You
Mm-hmm.
also would have like certain types of games against others for some reason. So I think it doesn't make sense. I've addressed this during a recent live of mine. I was just talking about this because little context here at the Dublin University,
Uh-huh.
there's clubs for pretty much anything. There's a bunch of students, so they organize stuff, and there's two clubs separate, one for video gaming and one for gamers like a D&D, Magic the Gathering,
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. Like they call themselves the gamers without a screen, and these two groups of nerd people, and sometimes people are joining both of them. They're super rivals for no reason. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
why would you
I mean,
be
games without
rivals?
screens is pretty aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about. Like I joined them first and then I knew about the gaming ones because I wanted to play D&D because I love that as well. And the moment I stepped into it, they were like, "We are the gamers without a screen." I'm like, "Okay, I also play with a screen, but what's up? I also play with dice." So, do you want to enjoy both maybe? Like that's a thing as well as the console versus PC that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
gamers, whatever they're gonna play, are still gamers. They still enjoy the same type of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you fight within each other when you have a shared interest? Like
Mm-hmm.
also D&D versus video game RPGs. It's the same thing. It's just a different format. You enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
same stuff. You like being an elf. Shut up. Like be friends. What
Mm-hmm.
even is the issue there?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense. And I think that's a big part of the toxicity of entering the
Yep.
video game community because maybe you are a certain type of gamer and you interact with a different type of gamer and they shame you and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna play anymore. And or
Gaming sucks.
yeah, or either I'm not gonna mention I play anymore to anybody else because that's what I just got. So I think that's a big part of keeping it a secret, actually. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
people would judge you regarding how you do it, which is stupid, but that's how it is sometimes, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Jan, any
You
thoughts?
know, not just think. I agree, completely agree. Silly as hell. Not only that, but like when these debates start happening, they always like assume they treat hobbies or preferences as if as if they're like nationalities or something. Like, oh, you're either a gamer without a screen or with a screen. Like there is no practical way that you're gonna like both. Okay, so pick a lane, get your weapon and start fighting the other front. Same thing with like PC versus console. Like there's no absolute way that you play both on console and PC. Nobody's seen that. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
don't be crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I mean it's such a ridiculous. Again, like the entire concept of it has so much flawed reasoning in it that it's actually impossible to debunk it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a bunch of hot air. There's nothing
Right.
to debunk.
Yeah, like nobody wins in this conversation. Well, like I think
Mhm.
one of the reasons why I bring this up, it has something to do with the stereotypes, right? You have your PlayStation fanboys, you got your Xbox guys, you got your PC guys. One of the reasons why I bring it up, and I wanted to tell Lyra about it was, um, there. So we had a guest that's been on here a few times. My boy Emmett, he's a great guy. He
Oh
is
yeah, I
a
know him.
he is a PC elitist. Like this guy
Oh yeah.
is PC everything. If you're not on PC, I had this exact. He told me this the other day. Well, not the other day, a few weeks ago now. My weeks have been running together. But I've been playing Starfield, and I've
Mm.
been I haven't been playing it past few weeks. I've taken a pretty good break off of it, but I was playing it a little bit on PC, and then I was playing a lot of my time on Xbox Series X. And as we all know, the news is out there. It's 30 FPS on Xbox Series X, which is unfortunate. That's trash. I agree. I've
And he
said it.
was loving it
Yeah, but
when he
I was
heard that news.
right. But I wasn't. But for the most part, I was enjoying it at 30 FPS. Well, anyway, I was talking to Emmett about it. And I was asking his opinions on it, and he's telling me that he's getting like almost up to 200 FPS on Starfield, and he's barely getting any dips and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. How do you like the game? I don't like that's
Right.
fine. That's fine. I get it. I'm glad you have a very smooth experience. But how do you feel about Starfield? What do you think about the package? He tells me it's okay, it's average, all right. And he's like, you know what you need to do? You need to just get you a PC so you can really enjoy gaming, so you can actually take advantage of what you have.
Take advantage. Take advantage what you have.
And I'm
I
sitting there
love that
like,
one.
man, like what, like all you care about, all these guys, not everybody, okay? I don't want to put everybody in the same circle, but a lot of these PC guys, they have to have like the highest frame rate. They have to have the highest fidelity and DLS and all this other stuff of ray tracing support. Like, who gives a shit about that? Okay, I can see a puddle a little bit better on PC than I can on
Remember
console.
when everyone was talking about ray tracing? I remember when that came out, like 2018, 2019, everybody was talking about it. And now it's like, who gives a shit, right? Like, sure, I mean, some reflections do look better on like I get that. Like sometimes reflections look really like clumsily done.
Right.
Like I don't know, when you see something like a certain alley of metal. But yeah, like it's whatever, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm not attacking him. And if he's watching, I love you, man. Appreciate you on the show. We have to get him back on. But it's like, dude, that's not all that matters. Sure. That's not all that matters, man. It's like, if I'm enjoying a game, if it's 30, like, all right, for example, I've told Jan this, Lyra, I think I mentioned on last episode, I played Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PS5. It was a buggy experience. Frame rates were dropping between 30 and 40 FPS, if I had to guess. So sometimes it was a stuttery experience, but I was enjoying the game so much that it didn't even matter to me. I was enjoying the story, the gameplay. Like FPS, it's nice. And yes, I want 60 at least. That would be nice. But I think because, again, me and Jan, we're mostly console players. So it just doesn't really bother me when we go back to 30. Now, if it's like a really stuttery mess, like for instance, I before Starfield came out, I was playing Red Dead Redemption at 30 FPS on console. It ran beautifully for 30 FPS. I didn't have any issues with it. I don't know if Jan had booted up or tried it out any or whatever, but I can vouch for that game and say it's super smooth, like smooth for 30 FPS. I know it's so weird. Smooth and 30 FPS doesn't really go together, but it's playable. It's definitely playable.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, the high frame rate is kind of a modern standard, right? I feel like, and I'm sure I'm not alone on this one. I think like when they port an older game, sometimes it really doesn't need a higher frame rate. I don't know if you guys hear, there's like a huge debacle about the Metal Gear Solid remastered versions. Like MGS1 is like stuck at 30, and people are like hating it. They're saying, "Oh man, I can't wait to emulate it just to make them feel sorry about that." Dude, it's a PlayStation 1 video game. How would that look in 60 FPS? Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you in for? Like, if you care about the story and, you just need the game to be running and be enjoyable in its own thing. Like, can you play it? Yes. Does it look picture beautiful? No, who cares? But I know there's some people who really care about just technical aspects of this, which I can even respect, but don't shame people that are there for the story and the enjoyment and just the playability of it, and they don't really care about shadows and the lighting and stuff like that. But
yeah, I mean, if you have OCD, yeah, exactly. You see, and you really want it to look perfectly, then sure, you do you. But my point about the MGS1 thing was that like it's a really old ass game, right? Its entire architecture is made to be worked around its shortcomings, right? Its technical shortcomings. So it being in 30 FPS could very easily be simply a not a necessity, but maybe it just looks best in 30 FPS. Have you ever thought about that? Right, I've seen sometimes what they do with ports of like older games. They up the frame rate, but only the gameplay, not of the cutscenes. Because some of these animations, some of these older animations, when you just bump up the frame rate, they look like shit. They look sped up. They look terrible. You lose a lot of the detail.
Right. Lyra, how is The Witcher 3 on PC? I mean, well, I guess really my first question is, would you say that you have a pretty nice rig? Is it a pretty powerful, not very powerful, but like a stable PC, would you
Yeah, it's
say?
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Pretty good, huh? All right, what's pretty good? I know a little bit. I know a little bit of the lingo. What's
Well, I
pretty
did
good?
buy a laptop because I plan on moving a lot.
I
So
saw that.
like,
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
that
yeah.
actually. Yeah.
So it is a gaming laptop. It has Ryzen 7, I think,
Okay.
GeForce 5. So pretty good. It does run the games smoothly. So yeah, but mostly I got it both because I like to game, but also because I need to process brain images at a certain speed for my university stuff.
Mm,
So like
Yeah.
it does both things very well. So that was the main reason I have this kind of stats for the
Hmm.
PC. I like when it comes to gaming, I'm one of those people that only cares like, does the game lag? No, great. I love it. Like, I don't really care about, having all the highest specs, even though my computer does support it pretty much for any game. So like The Witcher is very nice to look at. Not gonna
Right.
lie. Like I played Stray. I finished it today. Stray is a wonderful experience when it comes to graphics. Like that's such a beautiful game. It's just beautiful. Like you look at it and every single scene is, I don't know, screensaver worthy. So playing it with a machine that supports all the work that went into it and like all the little fur of the cat and stuff like that truly makes for the experience, but it's not what it's all about. Like that's the thing. Like when it comes to games that truly have a wonderful plot and you know they're just amazing when it comes to other aspects. I don't even pay that much attention to the graphics and stuff. So like for The Witcher, there's some moments where I just stop and look at this scenery and I'm like, okay, this game is beautiful. But for most of it, I'm not really focusing on it. So like it's a great experience running on a good PC, but it's not essential to me. That's what
Right.
I think.
Right. Well, that's really nice to hear a PC player say, because there's not too many of you out there who are like more about story and actual like gameplay, as opposed to how smooth can I get it. And it's, I don't know, like I just again, I bring up this conversation because I just think it's that funny in a sense. It's like with Starfield, like, yes, like I say, I mean, I was very open about it. I was open about it on the Deadhead podcast. I was open about it on my personal accounts and the Deadhead social accounts. That when they had announced that Starfield was 30 FPS on console, I was like, that's a mistake. Like, and now that I've been playing the game, and I would say altogether I'm like 45 hours in or something like that. I haven't played in a while. I was off from work for like a week straight. I had some family stuff going on, so I was like every night I was staying up playing Starfield, and I was into it. But I had to take a break. It's just one of those games. But like, yeah, I mean, I put all that time into it, and I'm gonna be honest with you. And I told Jan this. I think that the game, there's no reason it shouldn't be running 60 FPS. If I'm being honest, just visually, I think it looks good. I think it looks like a good game, but it's not anything crazy. It's not up to the level of what Spider-Man 2 is going to be. Um, as far as the scale, going to different planets, yes, there is that in there, but newsflash, a lot of it's just fast travel. Let me go here. My destination's here. I land. I can't even really like drive in space. I can't even really. I mean, I can, but you can't. Um, the space combat is okay. It just, all the elements in this game are very. This is gonna sound bad. It's very last gen to me. This is very last gen. Like everything about it, when it comes to the
Mm.
shooting, the visuals, the world building. It's a Bethesda game. You know what you're getting. I don't know how many Bethesda games you've played, Lyra, but if you played one, you've played them all.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad. It's not a bad system. It's not at all. I'm not. That's not really a bad thing. If you really love it, then please, by all means, enjoy it. I'm not telling you to hate it, but there's no reason this game shouldn't be 60 FPS on
Mm.
console. And that's just the god honest truth. There's no way. I don't know how to make games. I'm not even gonna try to act like I do, but 30 FPS is unacceptable, especially with the way it is. I don't know how much you guys have seen gameplay of this,
A
but
little
I mean,
bit.
you tell me, look at that gameplay and tell me if it's anything that looks spectacular to you, and why that shouldn't be running 60 FPS at
Yeah,
least.
no, doesn't seem like a game that came out this year. That's the thing. Like,
All right, yeah,
yeah, like I've
no,
seen it a little bit, and I had some people agree with your opinion. Like they basically told me very similar stuff, and that's true. Like it's a game they could have made exactly as is today, like 3 years ago, and it would have been exactly the same game.
Hmm.
So I feel like that's not the best,
Hmm.
but yeah, like that's a different type of complaint. It's not that it's an old game and it's running 30 FPS and you enjoyed it anyway. It's just, you gotta be objective there and say they could have done better, like given what other companies do
Hmm.
nowadays. Like they
Right.
could have put a little bit more effort into it.
I mean, like take a game that I don't really like. I think we had this conversation before. Take like Horizon Forbidden West, right? And Jan knows about this. Jan's a fellow PlayStation owner. And he knows all about this. And I know Horizon. The first one's on PC as well. But look at the scope of that game, especially Forbidden West. Look at the scope and how huge that game is. And I haven't played it because I haven't beaten Horizon Forbidden West yet. But the DLC, the what is it called? The Forgotten Lands or something like that. What's it called? The Burning Shores or something like that. I think
Burning
it's Burning Shores.
Shores.
I've seen the visuals on that, and I am blown away with how gorgeous that looks. There's so many things going on. It's it's running 60, and you have all these beautiful. I mean, like you just see destruction around you, but it's like holy shit, this looks amazing. And then you look at Starfield running at 30 FPS. You know what I mean? That just doesn't work for me. Like Horizon is beautiful. Like that game is just crazy. The boundaries they pushed in that game, and then you look at Starfield. It's almost two separate. It's like two separate games, man.
You know
Well,
what
it
you
is,
gotta
but
take into consideration? Like this might be like a huge tangent, but you gotta take into consideration that any game that comes out on Xbox Series X is also coming out on Series S.
yeah,
And no, like a
yeah.
lot of games get just compromised. Well, not compromised on Xbox overall, but they need more time in the oven just because developers kind of have to work around make a version that is playable because it's the same version playable on both consoles.
Mm-hmm.
But just that the Series
Okay.
X is supposedly has to make it run better. So like I know nothing about video game engineering, but that sounds
Yeah,
a bit of a hill, like an
yeah.
upward hill.
And Nori makes a good point that the DLC was specifically made for PS5, while Starfield is yes, it's the new Xbox console, but they are limited by the Series S. I get what you're saying. No, that's 100%. But the thing is, then that means that's false advertising on that. That's false advertising on Xbox's whole thing, right? Because when they first released the Series S, they said that you would still be able to play up to the same potential as the Series X. Just the Series X is going to have sharper images and be a more powerful console. So that's a little bit of false advertising, right? If they say that the Series S, you can play all these games just a lower resolution, but the same frame rate, then that's a little bit of false advertising. If you're saying the Series S is holding back the development of some of these
Mm,
games, if that makes sense.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
I'm
enough
not
about it
attacking
to have like
I'm not
an
attacking
opinion.
Starfield here. I'm not attacking Starfield here. I know it sounds so super negative, but I'm just saying like when I look at this game and I see what it looks like a game that came out in 2012 and it's 30 FPS. Simple as that. I
Yeah,
think the original Last of Us before the remake looks better than Starfield. And that's just my opinion. But anyway,
Yeah. I
no,
haven't seen it
that
on
is
an
fair
Xbox,
enough.
but I trust you on that.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, I won't try to turn that to a hating on Star. It's a shame. It sucks. It really sucks because,
As much as you'd like to.
but like I was really looping that back to the whole conversation of like these PC versus console guys. Really, it's like I think I would hope that just like these stereotypes, right? The stereotypes we just discussed about being a gamer in 2023, breaking the stigma. I hope just like that with the console wars and the console and PC. I don't think the console and PC is ever going to go away. I think that's something that will stay. Like Lyra had mentioned, I think we would hope that the conversation of is gaming a waste of time? You're a loser if you play games, all this other stuff. We would hope that would be a conversation that would be over with in a few years. But I think the console and PC war is just never going to end, is it? I don't think that's ever
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
happen.
there's just people being dumb, and
Yeah,
and that's like
exactly.
one thing that never ends. So that and a lot of other stupid shit. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, but I know we're kind of getting close here. I got some family over, so I don't want to take too much time. But I guess real quick before we get off here, I know we all got busy lives. I know we're doing a lot of stuff right now, but I have to ask, what are we playing? What are we playing right now to take away from the pain of real life?
I'm curious to see what.
Do I go first?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
as
Yeah.
sure.
as
Go
the
ahead.
guest. Okay. So today, as I mentioned, I finished Stray on stream.
Okay.
Hell
So
yeah.
now I'm planning to start the DLC of Outer Wilds, which I had finished before Stray. So that's
Hmm.
the next thing. Echoes of the Eye. I'm very curious about it because the ending of Outer Wilds, don't want to spoil anything, but doesn't really give an opening for a sequel. So I'm
Hmm.
very curious about what they came up with to continue that story. I trust them because they did an incredible job with Other Wilds. So I'm very eager to start that. And actually, I had this discussion today on stream about what comes after The Witcher, which I'm close to finishing. So yeah, I'm still playing The Witcher 3, but I don't know. I'm starting to think about what comes next. There's a voice in my mind telling me I should try Baldur's Gate 3, but on the other hand, I don't know. I'm not
If you
that
start that, it's never
into.
gonna end.
Yeah, I know,
Mhm.
right? I know. It's like I think I'm gonna surrender at a certain point. I don't know
Hmm.
if right after The Witcher is gonna be it, but at some point I'm gonna play it. But I don't really know. I want to take on another bigger game because that's what I do on the channel. Usually a shorter one and a bigger one that keeps going as I change shorter ones.
Hmm.
So yeah, the substitute for Stray would be the DLC of Outer Wilds. Easy choice. I played Outer Wilds before, so I'm very into that. But the substitute for The Witcher is still up to discussion, so I'm really thinking about it. And yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I know there's also Final Fantasy that is a possibility, as we
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah, there we go.
last
You said the
time.
right thing.
Yeah, I know you guys are rooting for that, but
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see. I want to take on a bigger game, so that's a possibility. Today we were also talking about Cyberpunk. I don't know.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
the
Ooh.
series on Netflix. I really like the tabletop RPG, which I played a bunch of times. It's a very
Mhm.
interesting manual and setting. I don't know
Yeah.
about the video game, so I'm also considering that as a possibility. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I I have to agree with Nari here. Yeah, Final Fantasy X is one of those games. It's like super special, man. I mean,
Oh, there we go.
it's
You open the
goofy.
floodgates.
It's so it's goofy at times. Like the voice acting is just oh my god, it's not great. But
Ha ha ha
man,
ha ha.
yeah, yeah, dude, it's so bad. But the gameplay systems, the turn-based combat, the world, I love that it's like a water-based. It's a very water heavy game. Like it just it's very like oceanic and
Mhm.
it's awesome, man. I
Game
love the
play soccer
atmosphere.
underwater, dude. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, dude. It's like soccer mixed with rugby, mixed with like I don't know. I guess football. I guess American football anyway. So I don't know.
Right.
It's crazy. It's an awesome experience. So if you haven't played Final Fantasy X, Lyra, that's a good one. Final Fantasy X or
So
or
or
yeah,
seven remake
seven remake. You got to
or
because
16.
Yeah,
Rebirth
I knew you
16.
were gonna say that the remake of Final Fantasy VII. We talked about
Yeah,
that last time, but it's up in the list. I'm gonna discuss with my official manager, who's my best friend and the
Your
person
advisor.
that basically, yeah, my advisor, the one that pushed me to start the Twitch channel and everything. We're discussing. That's what we're talking about every day. Like it's been a month, and it just keeps sending me stuff, and it's like we gotta consider this. No, we gotta consider that. Like you can also stream. We could do both, and it's like no, you do that. You do that. I
yeah,
just talk. that's
He's doing the
that's how it works.
shadows.
Yeah, it's a shot. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Nari knows who I'm talking about. Melanzana, the official manager of my channel. But yeah, we're talking
That sounds like
about
a
it.
trust fellow. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Or trust
we've known each
everything.
other for like how long? 15 years. We've always played together. I'm just the public face, you see. That's how it works. I play
Right.
for, in front of everybody, but he's there commenting
He's
after
the
every
brain.
stream. Now we're both the brain, but I'm also the face. He doesn't want to show up. He did for the Outer Wilds finale. That was super fun. Like we played in the same physical
Oh.
place. I had him like that, and he was just fangirling over the finale of Outer Wilds, which it was fun. It was fun.
That's
But yeah,
great.
we're discussing that. He played the Final Fantasy. I think he played Final Fantasy 10. I'm pretty sure. And I think he also played Final Fantasy 7. I gotta ask, but yeah, we're thinking about it.
Good. Well,
But
good.
yeah,
Well,
could be
think
could
about it
be
and play it.
happening.
Yeah.
Think about it and make the right choice.
Yeah, make the right
Yeah.
choice. All right, Jan, I think we know what you've been playing, but you might as well go ahead and
Yeah.
tell the people and just tell us how great Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 6 is, how
Resident Evil
fantastic of a
6.
game that
I
is.
mean, what is there to say? Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that they continued on with the franchise after that one because I feel like that's pretty much the magnum opus. I feel like you can't go any higher than that.
Yeah, the
So it's
magnum opus.
fantastic. I cannot show it to you because I'm not in my partner now. But the back of the box of Resident Evil 6, it says the tagline is "No hope left," and that is so fitting because there is. I think that in 2012 when that game came out, and before we had Resident Evil 7 and all that, people really thought there's no hope left for the franchise. So I think and they were pretty much self-aware on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there? What can I say? It's generic as hell. It's just a game where you just run around and shoot a bunch of sometimes zombies, sometimes people who are supposedly zombies but are shooting back. I mean, and some of the set pieces are cool, and again, it's like very aggressively co-op, way more than Resident Evil 5.
Mm.
Like unlike that game here, the default settings are to look for a co-op partner online. You have to turn that off manually,
Hmm.
and there are no one. The structure of the game is clearly tailored towards co-op play.
That's right.
Like in 5, you can exchange ammo and guns with your partner in case you have an AI partner, or
That's
you
right.
can press a button and you can call him over, or you can tell him to pick up a certain object. There's none of that here. From here, it's pretty clear they imagined you are gonna play this with someone, which is
Mhm.
kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because I do have someone who I could force to play this with me, but I just love him too much. I wouldn't do that to him.
He's talking about me, by the way, so I appreciate you.
Yeah. Actually, you're my second choice. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But just because, the first one would be like my roommate, right? For him, I think it would be easier to just give him a controller in his hands. With you, we have to make arrangements. We're in different time zones.
I get it.
Then who
Yeah,
knows?
sure.
Then who knows what the netcode is gonna be like? Between continents and shit like that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, this is a high on the game. After all, you don't want stuff like lousy netcode getting in the way of the epicness that's coming on the screen. And by the
Mhm.
way, the game actually is epic. Like it's epic, but in the most superficial sense of the word. There's like incredible set pieces. You're running out of a highway that's like crushing down. It's like a fire chasing you. You get on top of a glass building. The ceiling falls off. You have to You have to I don't know find your footing. It's like that the whole time. And you know what? I feel like the story. I just don't give a shit about the story anyways because always the same crap, right? Some new virus or an old virus, gets put into loose after being bought in the black market. So
Mhm.
the story is always there. Like they try to have lore, right?
Mhm.
Oh, what really happened? Like I don't give a shit, dude. And all the characters, they are signature characters, right? You got everyone is here. Leon is here. Chris is here. Ada is here. Fucking Sherry is here.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, Sherry is the little girl from Resident Evil 2. I kind of like that. And honestly, the little cutscenes when they interact with each other are kind of my favorite part.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's not what I would want. Like in an ideal world, this is not how it turns out. Because those characters, they pretty much became stereotypes. They are
Mhm.
not characters who are growing, who are going through a journey, right? No, these are stereotypes. So you know what kind of character Chris is? He's the heavy lifter. He's a macho man, right? He gets things done. That's Chris. Leon, he's more of a quiet guy. He gets more quieter. He doesn't spit one-liners so much in this one. But I'm telling you, these guys start the same and end the same way as they were way back in Resi 5 or in Resi 4. Like no changes. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's all right, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's just saying it. Like I'm so glad that I haven't played it yet, but from what I heard, Resident Evil 7, they kind of started reimagining the franchise. And
Yes,
I'm so
sir.
glad for that. Because if
Yeah.
it kept going this way, I probably wouldn't have played it. I was planning on playing Resident Evil Revelations and Revelations 2, but I don't think I'm going to go through it, man. I think I'm going to take a break. I think I'm going to go straight to 7 after this one because I cannot live in this hopeless world that is the early 2010s Resident
Yeah.
Evil franchise.
Right. Yeah. That's a good call. I mean, just stay with the mainline games, finish
Yeah.
those out, and then if you feel like getting back to it, I mean, eventually we're gonna get to a point where there's not gonna be as many games coming out. And then that's when you just try it again. If you can
And
share the time, that is. I mean, it's hard
yeah,
to put
sure.
your
And I'll
time in
play
the
all the
game.
Resident Evil spin-offs on that time. I
Yeah.
gotta play the Umbrella Chronicles. I know you're a big fan of that one. The Dark Side Chronicles. That must be fun.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Outbreak, Resident Evil Outbreak 2, Resident Evil Survivor, Survivor 2, Revelations, Revelations 2.
There's so many.
Like I have my work. Yeah, I have my work cut out
Yeah.
for me. And from what I hear from the reviews, each one sucks bigger ass than the other. So it's gonna be it's gonna be
Right.
a romp.
Yeah. I if I were you, I haven't even touched those. So I wouldn't even be able to tell you anything on that. I would like to see you play one of the
Oh,
really shitty ones, and then we talk about it because just to hear you
you know we have to do. No,
rant
no, no.
about it.
You know what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Most of these are like have a co-op function, and you and I, Dylan, we're gonna stream that. We're
I
gonna
would
stream that
watch.
shit.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
that'd be fun.
okay.
Yeah, that'd be
I would
fun.
love you if you do
Like
watch
I'm
it.
not
Yeah.
into
Thank
horror
you.
games, but I'm into watching other people that make them hilarious. Like if I'm the one playing, I get scared as hell, so I
Yeah.
just don't.
I
But
Yeah.
get that.
enjoy watching them, so I
Yeah.
would. I would.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be a fun
Awesome.
way to do it. Um,
So it's
yeah,
settled.
those all sound like great games. So I've been very busy. I was telling Jan, of course, we don't get super personal in here, but I love the real world stories. But just to let Lyra know, I've actually been in the process of buying a house right now. Me and the wife are making the final moves to buy a house, and it's been a very, very stressful experience. It's a lot of money thrown everywhere. It's a lot of legal stuff, a lot of documents. So I've been very, very busy with that on top of work and everything else. But when I've had some time, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 had just dropped a few days ago. So I've been playing that. And that's been a good time, but I'm kind of getting bored, just like most fighting games. I'm already kind of bored. I've already beat the story. So, and I've already gotten most of the trophies, all the achievements. So I'm just really just kind of
So it's why is it
playing it.
an easy list?
Then I've been, I played Starfield a few weeks ago. I like I said, about 40 some hours in that. Took a really long time playing it. I've taken a break off of that. And really, I've just been kind of going back and forth on some games. I think I'm waiting right now for Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out
Mm.
October 5th.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think that's going to be my main game that I'm going to play until Spider-Man comes out. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. I'm going to be moving a lot and doing a lot of things, so I'm not really going to have as much time to play as much, which is kind of sad. But I think it's a good little break because it'll give me some time to get everything set up, and then the back half of the year, baby, be plenty of time to.
And that's a romp. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a
man.
doozy.
Yeah, it should be good, man. We'll have plenty of podcast episodes, plenty of game plays. It'll be good. It'll be good. So,
Can't wait.
Absolutely.
I'm glad everybody's doing really well with their lives. I know we got really busy lives, and Lyra, I can't thank you enough for taking some time to talk to us today about video
Always
games.
a
And
pleasure, really.
Me
yeah,
too,
no,
yeah.
it's been a long time. We apologize we haven't got to you sooner. I think it's just we've been so busy. Honestly, the show has been, I try to keep it at my forefront, and it's just things pile up and pile on and pile on, and before you know it, it's like, oh crap, I got my show to do on Sunday, and it's like, holy crap, I got to create a thumbnail, I got to let people know about it, I have to do this, got to do that,
Yeah.
and before you know it, it's here. And so I apologize to people watching and to you as well. I'm sorry that I haven't been as very communicative, but we'll be okay. It's going to be some busy times, but we're going to keep this thing going. But thank you, Lyra, for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you inviting me as usual. It's always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Oh yeah. Well, we really appreciate that. We love having you on. So anyway, with that being said, Lyra, you have anything else you'd like to add before we close out for the day?
Just a message to the world: if you play video games and you're somewhere near people that don't, say it out loud without shame. That's it.
You will not be silenced.
Exactly.
All right, Jan, what you got for us? I know you usually have some words of wisdom, but before you say your words of wisdom, Nori, she said, "Thank you for the podcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming and following Lyra over here. We hope you keep watching
Always.
us. You know, it's
Yeah.
we I can't believe we're 33 episodes into this. I'm really proud of where we've gotten to. And with that being said, go ahead, Jan. What else you got to say?
Yeah, I would like to thank Nari too. I mean, you've been a really, active watcher. Love to see that. Would love to see that more. And to latch on to what Lyra said, if you're a gamer, if you're getting to the world of gaming, you're just figuring out how cool it is. I mean, I can only quote Leon S. Kennedy over here and say, "Welcome to the club. Get used to it."
Beautiful. That was beautiful. I almost
Thank you.
cried. That was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Well, I wish I had a awesome main character line in my head to say, but I can't even beat that. So I'm just gonna say this: we appreciate you watching. We will pump more of these episodes out. This was episode 33. Episode 34 is next, where a noob like me will be watching the One Piece live action series on Netflix,
Ooh.
and we'll be giving
Yeah.
our thoughts on it. So,
I watched the
We'll
first
have a
episode
weeb.
and
Did
then
you?
I stopped.
oh,
I should get back into it. It wasn't bad.
oh. Did you stop? Did you stop because you just
No,
didn't
I
have the
just
time,
stopped
or?
because I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender now on to
Okay.
Legend of
For the
Korra, and I
first
love
time?
it. For the first time, yes. I don't know how I've
Where?
avoided that all my life. I
Well,
don't know. I don't know. Like
Well, it's
my
good that
fault.
you're working on it now.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe I
working right
should've-
now.
That's good. You're
I'm working
repenting.
really fast on it because like I was watching it casually while I also watched the second season of Good Omens. Like with Avatar, it
Oh,
was
that's also
going
good.
yeah, it was going really slow but steady, like 2 episodes a day and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But then I got into Korra and I got kind of addicted. So I had finished Good Omens season 2. I watched the first episode of the live action of One Piece, and I also started Korra. And so I was like, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna watch two things at a time. I'm just gonna watch Korra. I love it. And so
Alright.
I
I can
just
respect
put that
that.
on a post. Yeah, Korra is incredible. But yeah, that's
But
for
yeah,
another
next
episode.
episode.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't have brought this up right now.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Next time we can talk
Next
about
time.
that.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Sure.
we'll have to do that. I mean, I'm gonna attempt to watch. I mean, Jan says it's a pretty bingeable TV show to watch. So I'm gonna try to get all 8 episodes done before next showtime. But we'll have to see. We're doing a lot of moving. I think Jan is stuck here. We might lose him in a minute. Yeah, he might be
Oh
gone.
yeah,
Yeah, he might be gone. But anyway,
he
with
made
that
it.
being
He made it to the end.
yeah, he made it in. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Come back for another episode of Deadhead Podcast, where we will talk about One Piece, the new Netflix series. I know it's a little late, but we thought it'd be a fun episode of the podcast to do that on. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next one. Stay dead, my friends.